Welcome back. You got Will and I Man here from the Block Runner, and today we're going to be talking about Robinhood and some more real-world assets.
It's very bright in here without my glasses.
Did you forget your glasses, dude?
I did. I've been blinded, not just by these lights, by the green lights of Robinhood, I guess.
There's a lot of green over there.
It's a lot of green, and it's been a while since we've been like on a video heater like this where we're making daily content.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Well, our last video did really well. And I was talking about the same stuff.
Yeah, I think people are interested in learning more about Robinhood. So am I, because this is what we do, right? This is what, our fourth cycle, third cycle.
Don't remind me, dude.
Is it our fourth?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow, we're still here, dude. Still here, trenching along.
Masochists.
I guess so, but it's pretty routine at this point. Like, we know what to do. We know what the job entails. It's like scour the trenches, find the pulse, right? And then basically what exists out there that didn't exist last cycle. It's really that simple.
Yeah.
Like, every time you're in a bear market, like, that is your job if you're trying to make it to the next 4 years from now, right?
Yeah, especially when a new blockchain launches like Robinhood, we try to look for anything that can happen on chain that cannot happen anywhere else.
I guess that's also true, because we've seen a lot of chains deploy and launch, and every single time it's been a major letdown when you look through those trenches of this new chain.
Yeah.
Nothing new ever.
Yeah.
They're always carbon copies of like stuff that's happened on, bigger chains.
Yeah.
But this is the first time where we're seeing something new, right? It should have been pretty obvious that Robinhood was going to bring this to the table.
Yeah.
If you understood what Robinhood is, right? It's like, okay, they're bringing equities and what they call RWAs to the table, right? Real world assets, which are unfamiliar to us crypto heads.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In a lot of cases, it's been like, that's been like our enemy, nemesis in a sense.
Enemy in a way, yeah.
Nemesis is like all you boomers
Yeah.
investing in stonks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's not our vibe, but it's quickly starting to feel like a vibe.
Yeah, I mean, it's a new tool that the trenchers can leverage to create new stuff.
Right, and then so we're going to go through an example of exactly what that looks like, right? When you introduce this new stuff, right, this foreign substance called stocks, tokenized equities, what do you do with them?
Yeah.
Well, I know. I got an idea. How about we launch shitters like meme coins against them?
That's right.
No shit.
Eureka.
Right? It was super obvious that this was coming, right? And it's already here. Right?
All right, so let's take a look at the first tweet here by Long. It says, we just hit 10 million in volume on Robinhood app stock tokens. We launched Long last week, and we've been steadily growing while helping scale the infrastructure needed to support RWAs with deeper liquidity, faster price discovery, and broader ownership. We're committed to expanding into more deeper markets. Long Uniswap pools already hold 550,000 in stock TVL and frequently rank among the longest stock token pool across the entire chain.
Seeing a number like that, 550K, it's like easy to scoff at, right? Because you hear DeFi, TVL, you're used to seeing like billions. We said that very in sync.
Yeah.
But and then we did some research yesterday, like trying to understand the origins of Uniswap. Because when Uniswap caught our eye, it was already like a pretty big-ish thing.
Yeah, so we started the podcast in February 2019, and Uniswap had been around for about a year at that point.
Like early 2018 is whenever Hayden Adams deployed the first, automated market making pools on Ethereum.
Yeah, and you would think it's like, if you were to guess how much volume these things were doing, it would be, this Uniswap is, groundbreaking, right? But no, it turns out it was like $10,000.
Yeah, like on day one, and then like several months down the line, it was like 30,000.
Yeah,
it's like holy shit. So it took a while for something like a primitive like automated market making and liquidity pools and such
Hayden
to
Adams,
actually take off.
He had only 200 followers on Twitter.
Right. Yeah, so like big things truly do have like
small beginnings,
right? So you see a number like 500K in like equity TVL. It's like, you could definitely brush that off pretty easily.
Yeah.
But not knowing maybe a year from now that number might be $500 billion or something, right?
Yeah, it's the rate of change that you care about here, not the absolute value.
Yeah, it's also an indication that you're early AF, right? So
Yeah, I
like
mean,
500K.
I feel like that's the whole point of cryptos.
Yeah.
You want to be where people are going to be,
Right.
not where they're at.
Yeah, it's a little like zoom out, right? Okay, 500K in stock TVL on chain. It's like how much exists out there? It's like hundreds of trillions
Yeah.
in like equity value. It's like, okay, there's some room for growth here. Clearly, right?
At least a little bit,
A
right?
little tiny smidge.
Yeah. All right, let's continue on. Kyoto here. RWAs on Robinhood main priority, as Vlad often emphasizes. Nvidia did 3.5 million in volume yesterday. 1 million of that came directly from Long, and more directly from the AI token, which we're going to look at here. Nvidia has a total 1.1 million TVL. Long is responsible for about 3 to 400K. Long really describes the duality of RWAs and memes perfectly. The exact plan Vlad has. So Fern, which is Robinhood's head of product, follows Long as well. So the prediction here is Vlad gonna follow Long?
Right. Yeah, that's kind of becoming the thesis.
The new meta.
Yeah, it's like what out here has the potential for Vlad follow, right? And
Yeah.
Fern is becoming a regular cameo actor in this like storyline, this plot line.
Yeah.
It's like if Fern is following, that's like step one.
A precursor. Yeah.
Yeah, a precursor to the eventual Vlad follow. You know.
Yeah. All right. We got another tweet here by Chill. He says, here is the Long thesis. You can pair tokens with stocks. Uniswap founder is bullish on this concept. Vlad are deeply interested in this niche, and Long followed by RH, head of product. So what's the long-term trajectory? Well, OpenAI hasn't IPO'd, Anthropic hasn't IPO'd, and Kraken is looking to do an IPO. So tokenized stocks aren't going away. These IPOs have accelerated their adoption. Every crypto-related stock will have a crypto-native meme paired with the stock and launched on Long. Memes can now be directly connected to TradFi.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was thinking about this concept too. It's like I think the biggest get you can achieve from this cycle, like if you're Robinhood Chain, is a successful migration of like your users' interest, like the existing users they have, right? If they have 30 million users, comfortable and very satisfied with their stock trading product.
Yeah.
Right. How much of that user base can you comfortably transition on chain?
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, does something like this offer them anything in that equation? Right. It's like, you guys love stocks, right? You hold a lot of them.
Yeah.
Right. So here's meme coins paired to them. So now, like, here's this nice little widget or tool where you could easily, seamlessly add liquidity to the Uniswap pool and generate, yields from that.
Well, I would imagine that those users, they're buying stocks, and those are a lot less volatile than crypto.
Yes.
And so what's happening is they're using leverage to buy these assets to make them more volatile.
Right. Yeah. So that's an existing tool, right?
Yeah.
Or just maybe memes can kind of simulate a similar thing, right? It's like a meme also is kind of like a leveraged position.
Yeah, just because the volatility is like extremely high.
Yeah, so it's like it requires the equity holders to become familiar with crypto culture and like the dynamics of those tokens, and then not to immediately write them off because they're meme coins, right? It's like if you're an equities trader, you probably look at crypto as like a cesspool of degeneracy, filth, straight human,
bottom of the barrel stuff.
Correct. So like, can that image be, cleaned up a bit by now pinning the things they hold dearly to that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and on top of that, you're earning the underlying asset, the stock, as fees in some platforms, right? They're distributing the stock as fees to the community.
Yeah, we'll see, right? That's kind of like the big question mark in the air. Can this be successfully pulled off? Right now, it's being attempted in the trenches by platforms like this. Like, what degree of success needs to be demonstrated here in order for the higher ups to kind of mobilize around this? Because I think if I were them on that team, that would be like, one of our main objectives, right? It's like, okay, we got this chain out there now. Right? Oh, we're making revenue from the fees of the chain. Oh, so we wanted more of this, right?
Yeah.
We do. Yes, boss. That sounds like a good idea. So then how do we do that? Well, we need to get more of these people over here trading over here.
Right.
Like, all right, how do we do that? Well,
memes.
yeah, maybe.
All right, so here's the Long website, and for some reason I'm not able to see the tokens. You're able to still pull it up, right?
I have been.
It says we're experiencing an issue with our data provider. Please try again shortly.
Oh, no, dude. This is kind of like the whole point. So let me refresh. Let me see if I'm experiencing issues.
Yeah, you're using Chrome, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
not that it
this is
matters.
Brave. Yeah,
I refresh and it's fine.
Yeah,
So
it's a Brave
issue.
thing. All right, so
Well,
don't use Brave, but go to this site here, and
Let me try and describe it. So imagine there's 6 squares there, right?
Okay.
And the top left one says AI. It's
All
got
right.
a 4.19 million market cap, and it says Anchor 2, Nvidia.
Okay. AI and video kind of makes sense, right?
Right, and then the next one's called the next square to the right of it. It's called Spacehood, 500K market cap, Anchor 2.
SpaceX.
She nailed it.
Yeah.
The third one, Clippy. What company do you think that's anchored to?
Microsoft.
Nailed it. And then there's this one's too easy. Apple Cat.
Apple.
Yeah, let me find a hard one. Let's see. Not Zuck. It's pretty obvious.
What about Macro Hard?
That's right. There's one called Macro Hard.
Yeah, that came from Elon, by the way, and
Yeah, so if it came from Elon, you would expect it to be one of his companies.
I would have expected it too, but it's tied to Microsoft because it's more obviously a meme, right? Macro Hard.
Yeah, I just didn't make that connection that it was like the inverse of Microsoft.
Yeah, I follow Elon pretty closely.
Right. So that one's at a humble 28K market cap. But you get the idea.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they're just more coins with market caps, but the difference here is they're anchored to
Yeah.
tokenized stocks. So
Yeah.
it's cool.
Yep. All right, so we're looking at Dune Analytics here, and the long on Robinhood Chain. So here's some metrics. We got 10 million in total volume, 2.9 in 24 hours. We got 610,000 in TVL.
So I guess I think that's the Goldilocks metric here to pay attention to. Kind of like
The
early
TVL, right?
yeah, early DeFi. Remember the days where it's like we were looking at early DeFi where it's like maybe 8 to 10 million
Yeah.
in TVL. Like, man, this
Literally,
is,
like 6 weeks later, it was like almost at $1 billion.
yeah, we made a follow-up video. I was like, oh, damn, this DeFi shit's really taking off, guys.
Yeah.
We're about to cross $1 billion in TVL, so maybe something similar might happen here.
Right. Yeah, so all the data's here. We have the stock token leaderboard. So there's the stocks here, Nvidia, SpaceX, so forth. And Nvidia's leading the pack, right?
Yeah, I wonder why.
It's the biggest market cap.
It's the Bitcoin of stocks right now.
Yeah.
Or maybe forever. Who knows? Yeah, I mean, it just is. So deal with it.
Yeah. All right, so we're talking about the AI token, and AI doesn't stand for artificial intelligence. It stands for artificial Inu.
Of course. You gotta bring a meme.
Yeah.
A familiar meme. We just talked to Moon King.
That's right.
He's the Shiba Inu guy.
That's right.
So there's something about these fucking dogs, dude.
Yeah. What is it about these dogs?
I don't know. I mean, obviously it was set in stone because of Doge. That was also a Shiba dog, right?
I don't know.
Let me look it up.
I don't know what kind of dog that is.
What does Inu mean? I know Shiba is like the dog breed. Oh, I think it's Shiba Inu is the dog breed.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's another one of these dogs, dude. So it's a dog coin.
Yeah.
Plus there's AI.
Yeah, and it's paired to Nvidia.
Right.
So that's the new thing here. This is what can be done on Robinhood that cannot be done anywhere else.
Yeah, specifically all because of Uniswap, right? Like this is what
Yes.
Uniswap has kind of
Pioneered.
finoogled. Yeah.
All right, so Bankr. So stock pair tokens now live on Bankr. Every Launchpad on Earth pairs your token with a chain's native coin. As of today on Bankr, you can pair yours with a stock instead. Live on Robinhood Chain. So launch a token on Robinhood Chain whose pool is quoted in tokenized Tesla, Apple, or SPY, the SP 500, and tokenized stocks, ETFs to pick from. So Bankr, you can launch a token right from Twitter and pair it against a stock token.
Yeah. So Bankr's on board too. If you don't remember Bankr, that's from Base. I mean, a lot of drama, a lot of things are happening natively on Base, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, Bankr must survive, right? So, all right, here we are on Robinhood Chain exploring the frontier. And I guess they've added this into their like agent SDK or whatever it is they have out there. It's like a skill tree. You can just now there's a new skill here.
Yeah,
You can invoke Bankr to launch a stock pair token.
These are Ethereum chain derivatives, right? L2s. So Base, Robinhood, they're all EVMs.
It's not like it's unfamiliar territory.
No, it's the same smart contracts, just running on a different network.
Yeah, so you can do the same thing now using Bankr. So this is good.
Yeah.
If you're Uniswap, right? You're happy.
Yeah, so today BankrBot launched stock paired tokens to bring more volume and liquidity to stocks. Most of today's Nvidia action came from Real, the token paired with Nvidia.
So another one. So on Long, the token paired to Nvidia is what? AI? Artificial Inu. And from the BankrBot ecosystem, it's called Real.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, so there you go. Nvidia is getting all the love.
Yeah, so Real is Real Stonk, the first runner stock paired token on Robinhood via BankrBot. And
I think that's pretty much all that needs to be said, right?
Yeah.
We get it. It's the first of something, so therefore buy it, right?
Yeah.
That's a very reoccurring thesis.
It's like a trope now in crypto. This keeps happening.
If anything is first, like that's the one you want, right?
Yeah.
So,
but here is the deployer. It says, need a team to CTO Real Stonk. Real operators only will advise. My DMs are open. So this was their test token, and now they want someone else to kind of run the socials.
Understandable. There's a lot of, responsibility that comes with launching a coin.
Yeah.
It's not, you don't just launch the thing. You got to like persistently tweet about it.
Yeah.
You got to cultivate community around it.
Twitter Spaces.
It's a whole thing. So it's like, here it is. Here's the new integration. Here you got token pair or equity paired tokens through BankrBot. Here's the first one. Somebody please run the damn show for me.
Yeah, and it's sitting at under 700,000 market cap. So if someone takes the reins here, I could do some numbers.
Yeah, I wonder who. It's maybe that. What's that guy?
Jesse Pollock?
Bored Elon Musk. Remember that guy?
Oh yeah, yeah.
He frequents base trenches. Maybe it'll be him.
Yeah.
What'd you say? Damn, dude, Jesse.
Yeah.
That would be even better. Imagine him just like coming in like a redemption arc.
Yeah, that's right. Bankr is sitting at 34 million market cap. It went as high as 120 million.
Yeah, so that's the famous BankrBot. Again, because it's on base, it's probably going to have a hard time, getting market appreciation.
Yeah, thank you, Brian.
Yeah, who knows if that's a recoverable situation. If you don't know what the hell happened there, just go to Twitter, look up Brian Armstrong.
Look up Brian. Yeah.
Look up Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase, and go through his tweets. And
yeah.
You'll see all the hatred and the pitchforks in his replies. It's pretty bad.
He's like, guys, I'm just trying to do my job. I'm not going to pump memes.
Unacceptable. It's like, if you're not pumping my bags, I want you dead, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm trying to get Clarity Act passed, guys. Like, not important.
Yeah.
That's that man.
Yeah,
what's amazing.
What was that meme called? The Brian Super Brian, or
I think it was
Brian. There's two tokens. There's Brian, and then there's another one called like Super Brian or something.
Maybe
like a comic book.
Yeah, he was like a buff version of himself.
Yeah.
Comic book. That was the meme. He switched his PFP for a day.
Mm-hmm.
Token went insane. Then he like switched it back. The next token went to 0.
Yep.
So obviously that hurt a lot of people. And he's like, "Yeah, I don't care." Was his response? Pretty much, if you sum it down, I don't care, dude. Like, I'm really just fucking around. You guys are the idiots, like trying to make something out of this.
Yeah. All right. Another doing analytics. Robinhood trenches. So the thing to highlight here is the DEX volume, 463 million.
Yeah, this is important, and it's kind of like why we're producing more content than usual. As long as these metrics continue, like on the up and to the right pathway,
you're gonna see more videos.
You're gonna see more videos. Yeah. And
another thing to note: Launchpads. So number one is Pawns.family. We got this thing called Flap.
Great name, dude.
Yeah.
I think Circus Trade is Bonk. So Bonk made its way to Robinhood, of course. There's Bankr.
Oh, so this is Bonk? Like, Let's Bonk?
Yeah.
Wow.
They're on Robinhood now. Yeah.
Okay. Amazing. Bankr.
But yeah, this is important to follow just because, this is...
Virtuals?
Yeah, Virtuals is on there. Clanker's on there. Everyone's there, dude, including Long. Look, Long is slowly creeping up, and that's kind of what you want to pay attention to because... as far as differentiators go, they have a pretty big one, I would say.
Yeah.
You know, to my Bankr and Long so far, to our research, are the first to this whole tokenized equity pairing scheme. So who knows? Depending on how successful this AI coin gets, like whether that garners more market reaction, we'll see. But yeah, pay attention to these data points. That will signal everything you really need to know.
Yeah. And then finally here are the actual memes. Cash Cat, Pawns, Tendies. All right, they're all listed here.
Yeah. So another brewing ecosystem. What is this?
This is Pawns.
Oh, yeah. So why does that matter? Because, yeah, this is... Pawns went from basically nothing to 30 million market cap. Mostly from a Vlad follow, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if this long ecosystem or whatever takes off and eventually gets to a point where the higher ups take notice, which I think they might, because it is utilizing, you know, stock tokens to its like highest degree.
Yeah.
Then expect a similar trajectory is all I'm saying.
Yeah, the final tweet here, Robinhood is now open to AI agents. You can now open an agentic account and connect an AI agent to it. From there, you can let it research, trade, and manage a portfolio on your behalf. It says, add the Robinhood MCP server to your agentic platform. Instructions vary by platform, and you can find yours here on this link. It says, once you're connected, your agent can do research and place trades, get portfolio insights, do market analysis, build portfolios, and execute trading strategies. Every order goes through a real brokerage account with real execution. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so then expect an AI meta soon, right, on Robinhood?
Yeah.
That's what that tells me.
AI trading competition?
It's AI everything, right? Just like there's an AI season on Solana, there will be an AI season on Robinhood. I'm almost certain of it.
Yeah. All right, well, that's it for us. We talked about RWAs on Robinhood and token pairing, meme token pairing with actual stock tokens. If you guys are in the space and you find something interesting that you guys want us to talk about, let us know in the comment section below. I appreciate you for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.
Peace.